Hi, and welcome to the Simplex podcast. Today, we are talking to Mona. She's a mom, she's a working mom, and she's going to be here to share with us all her little ins and outs and tips of her household. Mona, can you introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about your family and your day-to-day?
Yeah, so my name is Mona. I'm married to a ginger. I've got two non-ginger little girls. Scarlett is 7 and Hop is 5. I work as a mom and I try like full-time mom, full-time working, which is an interesting combination of things, to live life. That's about it, I think.
Well, it's a lot already. A mom, full-time working mom, finding your balance and everything. Tell me, when it comes to your household, what are some of your main health concerns?
I think with smaller kids, it's just immunity, like making sure that they like actually stay healthy because I think they're at school and there's all sorts, and I mean trying to ask them to wash their hands is a mean feat. Like they don't love that apparently, but just to keep them healthy, I think immunity is one of my biggest things, and also just energy as well for them, like making sure that because we're really busy, so trying to keep them healthy and eating healthily and not. We also have omas and opas in town, and apparently they also love to dish out sugar, which is like not my favorite thing in the world. But I think just to keep them balanced and healthy little people as they're growing.
That's wonderful. And how do you introduce healthy habits in your home? What are some tricks that you have or tips or anything?
Oh, tips. I think to try and find healthier alternatives. I'm all about balance though. I myself have a very sweet tooth. I myself have a very sweet tooth. And I love baking. So, and the girls also love to bake with me, like cupcakes and stuff. So I try and find healthier alternatives, like maybe banana and ice cream instead of ice cream. It's not always it's like more a hit and a miss. It's more like a miss and a miss and a miss and then a hit type of thing. But we try. And then just finding snacks that are healthy that they really like and try and give them a lot of those.
That's wonderful. And you say to me you're a working mom as well.
Yes.
And how do you balance that? Because that can be really challenging. How do you balance keeping your kids healthy, giving them healthy food, working full time, and then being present at home?
Yeah. No.
I don't think moms know how they do that.
I don't believe in the word balance for myself. That's never worked for me. I believe in juggling the right things at the right time, and also understanding that there are seasons. I definitely by no means have made it. I'm very much figuring it out as I go. But I think with each season with my kids, and they have different needs, so their needs shift. And so as I'm juggling balls, there's some balls that you juggle that can't fall to the ground, and some balls actually they must just. In Afrikaans say die pap val op die grond. Okay, and that's sometimes okay.
Yeah.
So for me, that has been it. So just to be intuitive and just to see week by week, okay, what's really important for this week. And then when I miss it, to try also not be too hectic, because I think as moms you can be super hard on yourself.
We've talked about that a lot.
Yes, so I'm sure that'll be a recurring theme. But because that's what moms do. We're very hectic on ourselves. So that's been it for me, just to see what the girls need, and then what my family needs, and try and juggle that for that week or for that season.
So just taking it one step at a time, seeing, and I like what you're saying, needs change, seasons change.
Yeah.
So it's not what you do today is not going to maybe work tomorrow.
Exactly.
And you kind of just have to go with it and experiment with what the children like, how far you can maybe push them with certain things.
Yes, yeah.
That's nice. I like that. Tell me a little bit about, because I mean we've talked about a lot about moms feeling guilty, and especially if you're a working mom, but even if you're not a working mom, like I think you struggle with that anyway. How do you cope with that? How do you maybe how do you not let that control you basically?
I think for myself, I think my faith has a lot to do with how I mom.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I think for me it's been kind of, I struggle not to be a perfectionist / performance-based person, because I'm very driven, which is a good thing, but in and of it, like if you're just driven without any like a context around being driven, I think it can be quite unhealthy. So in terms of my faith, I've really trusted that the Lord like would guide me and shape me. Like I never want to stop growing as a person, because I think that can be really dangerous. And also,
as a mom, you don't want to be
yes,
complacent in who you are. You
exactly.
want to show your kids you can grow at any stage of life.
Yes, and say sorry often, which I do.
Good one.
But I think, I think it's just been that for me, and also trusting that the Lord is sovereign over my family. So some things I must just leave for Him, because I can't deal with that, if it makes sense.
100%.
Because I can't control everything. So I've really tried to. I also really want to create humans that are super strong, sensible, and they must be soft towards other people, but they must also, I really want them to be robust, because life's going to throw a couple curveballs at them. And I think with everything happening, life's not going to get easier.
No.
So I really want them to be strong. So for me to do that, I need to give them some space within reason to grow and to,
find their own challenges, maybe fail and start it up again. Mommy's not always going to be there.
Exactly.
So a really good tip that we had in another podcast, so if you want to tune into that one, May was giving us a whole lot of things, and Mona is just echoing that as well, which is really nice to hear. What I'm hearing from you also is that there's an element of surrender. Surrendering, a lot of surrender to things can't be perfect. I can't control things all the time. I have to trust God, and I have to trust that I'm doing a good job for myself and for my kids. Do you find that difficult? Because for me, I think surrender is like an everyday task.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. I think sometimes it's easier than other times, but it is like that daily surrender, daily bread of just knowing what's okay for today. And I think even as moms, sometimes we're in really good spaces. I think even if you start talking about like your cycle and hormones and like, okay, but let's not open that kind of wound. Let's close that.
That's another topic.
That's a whole nother podcast. But but I think for myself, like when I'm in a good space, I try and really like milk that. And when I'm not, I'm like, okay, how can I manage myself today? So
that's wonderful, and thank you for being so open. I think it's nice for us to hear that everybody struggles with kind of the same things. I think nowadays, like, everybody wants to be a perfect mom. We want to put up this perfect front and I've got everything color coded. My lunchbox looks amazing.
Oh dear, that's just not me.
But
a lot of people feel like they have to.
I'm not like that either, but I do feel that pressure, and that's not, it's okay if things are not perfect, and if that day you're not your best self, but you show up for your kids, you did a good job. So tell me, what are some other things that you include in your household to make sure that everyone stays healthy, that everyone stays calm, and like we can go about our day to day?
Regular hot bubble baths. No,
because you've got girls, right?
Yes. So I'm like, anyway, let's not get into that discussion. I'm interrupting myself. I think so. Obviously, like, food is a big thing. I love to cook and love to bake and all that, so that's really important to me. And then just looking at what can I do and add to the kids every day, like every day, what is the word I'm looking for? Routine to assist in that, because obviously they will get sick. They go to school, they're going to pick up some bugs, but how can I add? I don't think in modern day food, and maybe even how like busy my life is, I can't like go and tick all the nutritional boxes, if that makes sense. Sometimes you're just in a rush and they're going to go to McDonald's and you're going to apologize, for that. But so like some of the things that I definitely have done is to add some of the Zemplix products when I especially see, this is a bad week, and it's really helped their immunity. So like, I try, obviously, like I said, I try to keep them healthy, but I'm going to drop the ball. And then I just try and add some things to their diet that would assist in them staying healthy. Yeah,
absolutely. I think we've got to find the tools that work for us and can be incorporated into our lifestyle, so we don't have to like stress about all of these things. So wonderful. Can you show us which one do you use?
Yeah, so I've definitely used this immune booster. So the sugar free and the sugar full one.
Yes.
I will say that they prefer the sugar full one, but that's just a regular struggle.
That's the sugar-free one, but I know the
is
dark.
it? Oh.
There's the giraffe one.
Okay.
So they prefer the sugar one. And how do you
Yes.
feel about giving them sugar?
Look, like I said, I'm a sweet tooth, so I think everything in moderation is okay. I struggle with the moderation bit because I'm like, more is more, right? So I don't have an issue with it, but I think I do think that it can be very addictive. So I try and, like I said, include other things.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're gonna find sugar in everything. So I think we make
It's really hard. It's really hard, and we have to when we go shopping, looking at all the food labels, and once you understand those food labels, you start to see there's sugar and salt in most things.
Yeah.
So it is very challenging.
But I'm trying to teach them also to listen to their bodies.
Wonderful.
Like when your body isn't in a good space, like maybe stay away from that. Like I said, I've got a lot of family that live close by, and it's like sweeties for just handing them out like. Anyway, so I think
that just reminds me of my parents, because they told me, when you have a child that is going to come to me, I'm going to give them sugar and I'm going to send them back to you.
Why? I will not do that to my children. I've decided I'm going to be the different
My
granny.
dad said it was for all this time I played really loud music in his house.
I'll get you back. Yeah. So I try and teach them. So like Scarlett would struggle maybe with a sore tummy, often maybe like some sugar and gluten intolerances. And then she's like, okay, now I'd rather have biltong today. So, I mean, that's really good for a 7-year-old to listen to their body.
Yes.
I think that's my goal is
that's
to actually.
amazing.
Yeah.
And how did you achieve that? Do you have a dialogue, everyday dialogue? Do you talk to them about their bodies?
Yeah. So I talk to them a lot about look, recently I've heard a lot of people say don't talk about good and bad foods, and I hear what they're saying, but for me it hasn't worked. So some foods are better than other foods if you look at how long it's going to keep you full. So I try and talk to them a lot about, okay, this is how it's going to make you feel. Do you remember your tummy was sore yesterday? Can you remember what you ate? Maybe tomorrow let's eat this instead of that, then your tummy will feel better. So I think it's good for them. It comes back to that same thing of giving them life skills.
Yes.
To be able to make choices as a 7, 8, 9-year-old. I think that equips her quite well for life if she can just understand what effect foods will have. Because we all digest food differently, and so maybe a Coke for me will do nothing, and maybe for you it'll give you migraine. We're all just different. So it's about just how your body responds, I think, to.
That's wonderful. So you're actually giving them tools for self-assessment, self-analysis, take a step back, look into your body, see how you are feeling, connect with your body. And I think that's really nice, because kids can do that. Sometimes we think, adults are only capable of doing that. But your youngest is from 5 and she's making these healthy decisions already. So that's really nice to hear. Yeah. Anything else you want to share with us? Any other tips you want to offer?
I think for me it's if you're a mom, just chill.
I think we all need to hear that.
Yeah, I think we are super, and I'm preaching to myself. I definitely am no self-help guru that's made it. I think we are very hectic on ourselves, and I would encourage us to surround ourselves with like-minded people who can support us and encourage us and speak life into us. And then also, for me, it's really been helpful to look for mentors that whose fruit in their life I like. And I
understand what you're saying, inspiration, whose life you can look up to.
Yes, so to be humble. On the one end, we need to chill and not be too hectic on ourselves, but on the other end, humility is a beautiful thing to have, to ask, hey, this is what I'm struggling with from a mentor. What do you think? What do you see? I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. And then when we fail, just to the word says that the Lord's mercies are new every morning. So the next day it's going to be okay. New mercies. It's going to be okay. You just do your best, and and just love your kids well, I think.
I'm loving what I'm hearing, because I think I can really relate to that. As a new mom, it was so difficult for me to be I actually need help.
It's hectic to be a first-time mom. I never want to be a first-time mom again. It's rough.
It was, but you're so. expectant of yourself to be able to cope with everything. Like you should be able to cope with everything. This is your child. Like
have you seen that Instagram chick is like, I just made a croissant from, have you seen that?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's what everyone imagines when they become first time. I'm like, I just breastfed my baby for 5 hours. Like, and I loved it. It's like, no. Like, I've got mastitis, flip an egg. Like,
no, there's so many challenges. I mean, luckily I had no problem with the latching, but my son was born and then he had a stuffy nose within 12 hours. In the hospital, they gave him a saline spray. So, and then it's just like all of these things. And it was very difficult for me to be like, you know what, I actually need help. I think the first time I gave my son a bath on my own with my husband went back to work, I had a panic attack.
Yeah, it's rough.
I called him crying. I was like, I can't put the onesie you want me to. Because it was so, and I don't think a lot of people talk about that. So I really like what you're saying, where it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to just reach out, to build your community around you. Those are tools that we have that at the end of the day is going to make us better moms, really.
Exactly.
So, so thank you so much for sharing with us.
It's a pleasure.
It's really nice to have you here.
Thank you.
That was Mona, guys. So if you want to leave any comments, questions, please do. Remember, we're here to help each other, talk with each other. And remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And see you next time. Bye.